lot of things. He's a business coach, he's a sales trainer, he's an entrepreneur, he's a multi-entrepreneur. He's actually had 6 or 7 companies in his lifetime. His first company was selling artwork when he was 8 years old to his family's friends. So he is artistic, he's musical, he loves not only going to shows and watching bands, but also managing bands. So that's another thing he does. He does videography for bands, as you can see. And one of the things that I love to espouse to people is he's a super connector. So the reason kind of why we're all together is because he connected me to Bill. Bill has great connections, and then we put a call to action and everyone kind of showed up when we relaunched Mang. So I have been with Chris now for 3 or 4 years, 2 businesses, and everything he does on the sales training and the coaching side is phenomenal. So I know you're going to be talking about on the bus, so welcome.
Thank you. So part of what was missed is generally what we do is you tell a little something about yourself that nobody knows.
Oh,
so I'm going to tell you. Yes.
What color are your socks?
Doesn't matter. They are.
See? I didn't even know.
All right. So little something about me that most people don't know is the Peter, Paul, and Mary song "Puff the Magic Dragon." And you know the chorus where there's kids singing in the background? That would be me. That was recorded at my nursery school because Mary's daughter or something was in our class and the acoustics of the room were right. So I don't know, I always forget to mention that, but it came up yesterday when we were doing this. And I'm glad you're all here. This was originally FANG, Fairfield Area Networking Group, and then we moved it here and it became MANG, Morris Area Networking Group. And with Amanda's help, we've grown dramatically, so thank you for that. And thank you all for being here. I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes, and I can see we're already starting late, so I may talk fast, and I apologize ahead of time. But, so just a brief history that I started working in sales. I grew up on Wall Street, and it wasn't a great fit for me. I'm a dyslexic kid. I was sent away to boarding school when I was 10, and college didn't click real well because I'd already been away for 10 years, and then was working on Wall Street, and had my Series 7 when I was 20, and the market crashed when I was like 23, 24, and it was just time to move on, and I became a sales guy. And the problem with selling for me was I would always sell more than companies could make. So they would want hundreds and I would sell thousands. And that sounds great on paper, but it's frustrating when you're the sales guy because it's your commissions that aren't being fulfilled. And then companies would make up stuff and lie and rush orders, and there was mistakes, and it just really wasn't a great fit for me. And salespeople and production don't always play well together, as I've learned as a coach, which is a pretty consistent theme with most companies. So I started inventing, and I had a dozen different patented products, a bunch of trademarks and websites, and just a lot of IP. And I joined an organization called the Alternative Board, which was a group just starting. It was in Morris County. It was 20 years ago. It was the first franchise of TAB, the Alternative Board, where I could go and meet with other owners once a month. And what we do, and today I own the franchise, and what we do is we put up to 8 owners on a board with a facilitator where the owners come and share challenges and opportunities, and they get held accountable by their board members. And it works out really well. I've seen tremendous growth of these owners. Anybody here who's in TAB can attest to it. Do we have TAB members here? I know there's a few. We've got Amanda, we've got Lowe's. Barbara, you've been in TAB. Bill, you've been around us, but never in us. Dan Keller, who's clearly not paying attention over there, is in TAB.
No, I'm actually looking up your Puff the Magic Dragon.
Well, yeah, because that's important.
Well, it kind of explains why you're such a hippie now.
Socks, hippie, right. So TAB worked out great for me, and when I bought the franchise, I saw a need for sales training. And so we started coaching and training sales about 9 years ago. And we had a sales training company in TAB. 35 of our owners sold their businesses. They were one of the sales. And then I could go public with it because I didn't want to compete with a client of ours. And so we've been doing on-the-bus sales training for the last 3 years. And it's interesting, it's fascinating, it works. I don't know who wouldn't join. I don't know who doesn't need sales training. We all can do better. And ours is a little out of the box in the way we think, as many will attest to. So what we offer are weekly classes. So the first Friday of the month, we have a lunch and learn, where there's a topic that the TAB members and on the bus members will enjoy. We supply the room, the lunch, the speaker. You come, you network, and you learn something. And the topics are great. Our next one is on getting more out of your email marketing. And so that'll be interesting. Louder, told. Okay, thank you. The second Tuesday of the month is sales training, where we have 30 classes that we go through. Our last class was on asking for referrals. How many here are great at asking for referrals? How many here kind of went out and say that our company has grown by referrals? It's not asking, right? How many of you have said, do you know somebody else who might enjoy our service, right? It's easy, and it's the way to grow. So we had a class on that where we teach people how to do it, and now they'll come back in 2 weeks and let us know how they did. Our next class is selling with questions versus answers, which I believe is key. I think we want our clients, our prospects, to close themselves. We don't want to be selling, we want them buying. And the way to do that is sell with questions. You know, have you tried this? Did it work for you? Have you given up? Those kinds of questions. I'll get into that more in a second. I don't even know why I have this. I'm no longer on script. The third Tuesday of the month, we have a discussion meeting where one of our members will come and we all bring our lunch. David, you were there the other day. It's always fun. And they'll tell their story in a general way, what life and business was like before TAB and on the bus, what changes they made, what life and business is like today, and then they pick a topic. It can be a topic they're an expert on, or it can be a topic they want help with. And then we discuss it. We go around the room. It takes about an hour. It's also nice to get out of your office, connect with your fellow entrepreneurs, and be in your safe place. Our communities are a safe place. It's a place where you can let your guard down. It's not networking. It's the opposite of this. You know, here we all have our game faces on, and we are who we are. Where I am, it's behind enemy lines. It's where you get to kind of just, I'm in my safe place. I'm in my comfortable place. No one here is judging me. They're all here to help me, right? So those of you that are members can attest to that. We do some unique things. On the fourth Tuesday of the month is another sales training. So there's 2 sales trainings of the month. Some of the topics we go over are here. We do some unique things. When somebody in our group says things like, you know, trade shows suck, I'll say trade shows don't suck. Maybe you're just not great at doing it. And we'll have a trade show. And we're about to have our third. I'm going to show you our last trade show just for a quick second. Let's watch the video. Hi everybody, I'm on the bus and we work with people that sell and teach them to sell better. And this is an example of what we do. We had a meeting recently and somebody was having a hard time getting more out of trade shows, so we put together a trade show. So these are some of our clients, and we made a trade show. We've had constant traffic all day. Chris Slipper on the bus. Hopefully I'll stop. Kill that just so a video doesn't come on. I film bands at night and sometimes the band videos will come on afterwards. So that trade show, that was our second. Our first one we had about 200-300 people. Our second one we had about 200-300 people. We're doing our next one on June 7th. For our members get discounts, so it's half price to our members. It's $250. It comes with 2 classes. Our office is at 181 New Road in Parsippany, which is Ron Sousa's place, and we've kind of taken over where we're creating community there, and we're building community. We're gonna have the trade show there. So a booth will now be an office for the day. And we're expecting 200 to 300 people there. And it's gonna be unique, it's gonna be fun. You set up your office the night before, put stuff on the windows, hang your signs, do whatever you want, and the traffic's gonna flow. So it's $500 for non-members. It includes 3 classes, right? So you get 2 classes prior and 1 after. You can ask the people that attended, Lois, how'd you do at the trade show last time?
Awesome.
How do you normally do at trade shows?
Not so awesome.
How many clients did you get?
I got 2 new clients and a handful of leads.
And how many clients do you normally get at a trade show?
None, just usually leads that
Okay.
lead to nowhere.
David, quick, how'd you do? I know you had traffic.
Yeah, I made a lot of good connections. One actually has helped us to solidify some relationships
Okay.
That might potentially maybe fruitful in the future.
Alright, Amanda, you were busy all day, how'd you do?
I'm glad I had a second person with me.
Right, and you knew that because you went through the training,
Yes.
right? So it just works. How many of you go to trade shows? Oh, Connie, were you there? No, you were.
I was one of her too.
Oh, okay, I know I saw you there. But I mean, how many of you have gone to shows and you get nothing? And how many of you are sitting behind the table in a chair and expecting people to come over to you? I took all the chairs out of the trade show. Right? I want you in front of your booths. So we teach you how to do that stuff, and it just works. So if you know somebody who manages salespeople, if you know somebody who sells, so people that sell is who we want, not salespeople per se. That's a good referral for me. It just needs a little help, a little confidence. It just works. I can't explain it any differently. So I asked you all what was the mistake that entrepreneurs make when they set up an appointment, right? Anybody know what it was? Well, you've been through it. You guys
Well, I
don't.
figure we should know what it is.
So what entrepreneurs do is we're so quick to make the appointment, right? We know the location, we know the time, and we know the place. What we don't know is how long the meeting is. We never establish that. Anybody start a 10:30 meeting and somebody says they have a hard stop at 11? Kind of sets you up for a big fail, right? Because now what do? We teach people how to do a 60-minute meeting. This is our bus, and it's 60 seats simulating a 60-minute meeting. And you can see there's only about 10 minutes of chit-chat. How many kids do you have? Where do you live? That kind of stuff. Then we get into some questions, and they get harder as they go along. You know, what did you do before? Where'd you go to school? How'd you get into this business? What's your biggest challenge in this business? What have you tried to do to fix it? Have you given up? What's it costing you? Those kinds of things. We're leading them with our questions. Right? Then we recap. We find out the priority it is, how important it is to them. We confirm it all so they hear it again. We find out their budget, if they have a budget for this kind of thing. We ask them how they go about making a decision to joining something like what you do. We tell them our onboarding process, and then ask them how they'd like to proceed. That's our system. It's nice to have a system, so you know where you are. But it's not aggressive selling. It's honest, it's straightforward, and it works. So again, a good referral for me are people that sell or people that manage salespeople, and don't get left behind and get on the bus. That's all I got. Thanks. Any questions?
So you're still doing, so TAB is still an ongoing,
Yeah, thanks. We have 2 seats left. I've got 1 seat on a couple of boards, and then we're starting a nighttime board.